Like that gifted man with the bone.
Sure having himself a ball.
Happy Sunday morning, boys and girls. It's your old pal, Andy France, the grand poobah of Judson Sunday School. Welcome back to another episode of Virtual Judson Sunday School, where you may have noticed, by the way I'm dressed, things are a little different around here. That's because, well, you may not have known this about me, but long before I was ever the grand poobah of Judson Sunday School, I was the grand hoopbah of basketball. That's right, boys and girls. I used to be a very famous basketball player. Back in my day, I had several handles. Maybe you heard of me. I was known as Air Andrew, Dr. A, and my personal favorite, Diaper Dandy Andy. Back in the day, I could really put the biscuit in the basket. Okay, so these days I'm more likely to put the biscuit in the bread basket. This is a little 3D effect on this basket right here. I'm a bit more round than rebound. But back in the 70s, that's the 1970s, you goofballs, and it wasn't all that long ago. Back in the 70s, I was what is known as a PTPer, baby, a prime time player. Not so much for my, I wasn't known so much for my dipsy-do dunkaroo. Boom. I was never an elevator man, you know? Not a lot of hop, not a lot of up. I was more of a glue guy. If I was covering you on D, by the time this game was over, you would wonder whether I was the one wearing your uniform or not. So, I was also known for being able to really dish the rock. And one more thing about my old game, you had better not have gone Rip Van Winkle on me, kids, because I would light up your area code with the trifecta. I could hit the 212 from way over in 718. You know what I'm saying? Well, today I've been asked to talk to you about how you can become a winner like me in the game of basketball and in the game of life. And it just so happens that our word of the day is winner. Winner. What does the word winner mean? Easy. A winner is the opposite of a loser. A winner is someone who wins, someone who is victorious, someone who is successful. Now, I hope you'll bear with me. Indulge me if I get a little overexcited today about this lesson. To quote that picture from the movie Bull Durham, Nuke LaLoosh, man, I love winning. It's like better than losing. So, whether you're a high riser, a Luke Skywalker, able to shoot double nickels, maybe able to make it rain from way downtown. Or if you're more of a Dow Joneser, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes the sham god crossover is working for you. Huh, huh, huh. Or maybe you're just traveling along through life. I'm here to help you become a winner. I'm here because what we hoopheads call, we need to get you from bunny hopping in the pea patch. I'm here to help you get to the big dance. I'm here to help your game get scary, baby, so that all the boys and girls from Kentucky to Kansas, from North Carolina to Indiana, your Wildcats, your Rock Chalk Jayhawks, your Tar Heels, your Dukies, baby, even your Hoosiers will be asking, who's your daddy? Now, some of you might be asking yourselves, well, how do I do this? How do I become a great player and a winner like you, Diaper Dandy Andy? Well, that's where I come in, baby. That's why I'm here. I'm here today to give you the keys to the kingdom. Are you ready? All right. Well, you got to listen close because I'm only going to say this once. I don't like to share my secrets with just anybody. All right? Here we go. You see this basketball right here? All you have to do to become a great basketball player and a winner like me is shoot this basketball so it goes through this hoop. Like that. It's that simple, boys and girls. Just don't miss. That's my secret. Don't be a bricklayer. Make your shots. You do this, and it'll be winner, chicken dinner. They'll be calling the fire department on you because you're going to be in fuego, on fire. You'll be a talking head, baby, burning down the house. You're going to be awesome, baby, with a capital A. Well, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed that lesson on how you, too, can become a winner and a great basketball player like me. Now, remember, don't tell anybody what I told you there because, trade secrets, I've got a patent on that pending. So today is Sunday, March 28th. It's the last Sunday of Women's History Month. Shout out Rethel Bean. And we are smack dab in the middle of March Madness, the college basketball tournaments taking place in Indianapolis, Indiana for the men, and in San Antonio, Texas for the women. I thought, because of all this basketball stuff going on, this would be a good time for us to talk about a woman named Maya Moore. Who is Maya Moore? Well, Maya Moore is a professional basketball player for the Minnesota Lynx of the Women's National Basketball Association, the WNBA. And in 2017, the magazine Sports Illustrated called Maya Moore the greatest winner in the history of women's basketball. The greatest winner. Now, why would Sports Illustrated say that about Maya Moore? Check out this resume. I have this one picture of Maya from high school down in Georgia. I believe it was near Swanee, Georgia, her high school basketball team. By the time Maya graduated from high school, she had led her high school basketball team to a record of 125 wins and only 3 losses. They won 3 state championships, 1 national championship, and Maya won 3 times. She was voted the best female basketball player in the state of Georgia. She was also voted the best high school female basketball player in the entire country twice. That's Maya's high school career. After high school, you can see from this poster over here that Maya decided to go to the University of Connecticut, the Yukon Huskies, where by the time she graduated from the University of Connecticut, her record was 150 and 4. 150 wins and 4 losses. She also led them to 2 national championships back-to-back, 2009, when they went undefeated through the entire season, and 2010. She was also voted the best player in the country 2 times, and by the time she graduated, and still to this day, Maya Moore holds the records for the most points scored by any woman in the history of basketball, women's basketball at the University of Connecticut. After UConn, Maya was drafted number 1 in the WNBA draft by the Minnesota Lynx. Now, these uniforms here are her Minnesota Lynx uniforms. They say Mayo Clinic on them because these are sponsors of this team. She was not only number 1, the number 1 pick in the draft, she won Rookie of the Year that year. She has since led the Lynx to 4 WNBA championships and 3 MVP awards, 3 Most Valuable Player awards. As you can see over here, Maya is also an Olympic champion. That's a gold medal she's holding up. She won 2 gold medals in the Olympics in 2012 and 2016 for Team USA. And then in between those Olympic years, in 2014, she won another world championship for Team USA and another Most Valuable Player award. Now, the WNBA only plays in the summer, and they don't pay near as much money, nowhere near as much money, as the men make in their professional basketball association. So when Maya is not playing for the Lynx, she is playing overseas in Europe or wherever else she wants to. She has since won a championship for Spain, another championship for Russia, and 3 championships while she's playing in China. Maya Moore is the living definition of a winner. But all of these championships, all of these MVP awards, all of her wins, that's not why I wanted us to talk about Maya Moore today. The reason I brought Maya Moore up for you to learn about is because just a couple of years ago, in 2019, at the height of her career, Maya decided to walk away from basketball. Wait, what? That's true. Maya comes from a very religious family, and it was through her family's prison ministry back in 2007, just before she was heading off to the University of Connecticut, that Maya was introduced to a young man, a young African-American man by the name of Jonathan Irons. Let me hold up his picture. This is Jonathan Irons. Now, when Jonathan was 16 years old, he was arrested for a burglary and a shooting that he maintains he had nothing to do with. He was nowhere near the scene of the crime. He doesn't know anything about it. Despite the fact that there were no eyewitnesses, there was no DNA evidence, no fingerprints linking Jonathan to the crime, no blood samples or anything like that linking him to the crime. An all-white jury found Jonathan Irons guilty, and he was sentenced to 50 years in prison. So Maya Moore continued her friendship after meeting Jonathan. They maintained a friendship over the years, and Maya's family worked behind the scenes to see if they couldn't help Jonathan overturn his conviction. And then in 2019, Maya stunned the sports world by announcing that she was stepping away from basketball so that she could spend more energy and effort into helping Jonathan win his case. Well, the way things turn out, a few years ago, one of Maya's relatives, actually her godfather, had been doing some research, and he was able to find some information that the prosecutors of the case had hidden from the jury. This evidence was about some fingerprints taken at the scene of the crime, fingerprints that did not match Jonathan or the victim, which meant these fingerprints most likely belonged to the person who did the burglary and the shooting, the actual person who should have been convicted of the crime, but was never caught. And so, last July, after 23 years in prison, thanks to the work of Maya's family and Maya herself and their lawyers and so many other supporters, Jonathan walked out of prison a free man. So, if we were to ask Maya Moore to name her greatest accomplishment among all of her wins and her championships and her MVP awards and her trophies and her medals, I wonder if she might not say that her greatest victory did not come on a basketball court, but actually came in a court of law. Hey, let's wrap up today's lesson with one teeny tiny Bible verse. I know. I can hear our old friend May yelling all the way from down in Georgia, "Not the Bible, not the Bible." May, if you're watching, we miss you terribly, and I have been there, sister. Not the Bible has gone through my head many, many times. So, more than 2,700 years ago, there lived a prophet by the name of Micah. Hey, we know a Micah, don't we? You know what? I bet our Micah was probably named after that prophet, Micah. What do you think? Next time we see him, we'll have to ask him. So I know you know what a prophet is, or at least all my elementals know. You've been told this. You've talked about this many times. A prophet is someone who claimed to speak on behalf of God. And generally speaking, prophets did a lot of yelling at the government, at the people. They were constantly screaming at people about how they that God wanted them to get their act together. They yelled a lot, kind of like a basketball coach yells, roaming the sideline and yelling out things like, hey, watch out for the fast break, or foul, that's a foul. Let's keep this basketball analogy going for just another minute or two. In those days, the Jewish people were divided into two teams, Israel and Judah. And both of those teams were getting their butts kicked on a regular basis by a much bigger and badder team, the Assyrians. And Coach Micah was doing a lot of yelling. Time out, time out. Listen up, Judah. Get over here, Israel. You guys are blowing it. You're getting destroyed out there because, well, you're worshiping idols, you're oppressing the poor, and you are as dishonest as the day is long. All you care about is money and power. And if you don't change the way you're playing, you are going to lose this game. And then Micah said something so profound that it has stayed with us, with people like you and like me, for more than 2,700 years ago. In fact, he wrote it down. He put it in his coach's playbook. It's called the Book of Micah. It's stuck way in the back of the Old Testament somewhere. Just look it up. It's Micah chapter 6, verse 8. And in that verse, Coach Micah is telling us, you and me, how God expects us to play the game of life. Micah said this, God has told you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God. Now, what is justice? Filmmaker, basketball superfan Spike Lee probably put that best when he named one of his movies, Do the Right Thing. That's justice, doing the right thing. I know you know what kindness is, what mercy is, which leaves us with walking humbly with God. Walking humbly is that, not being all puffed up and full of yourself, not bragging, but walking humbly. For Coach Micah, the secret of success was just that, doing justice, loving kindness, and walking humbly with God. So, how do we define winning? Is it only what we can achieve for ourselves? Or, as the words of Micah tell us, or the example of Maya Moore shows us, could it also be about what we can achieve for others? Well, boys and girls, today's story is about a couple of winners, and it does take place on a court, just not a basketball court. It takes place on a tennis court, and not just because wearing this headband, I resemble a tennis player that I used to really admire back in the 70s by the name of Bjorn Borg. What do you think, huh? Anyway, how many of you have heard of Venus and Serena Williams? I bet you have, because they're two of the greatest tennis players playing today. Especially Serena. She is probably, well, by the time she's done, she might be the greatest woman tennis player of all time. Who knows? For all of the things they have accomplished, their beginning was pretty humble. It was pretty meager. They grew up in a very poor neighborhood in Los Angeles called Compton, which was, well, it was poor. It was, there were a lot of gangs. There was a lot of drugs. It wasn't the best place to become tennis greats, let's put it that way. But their rise is the thing of storybooks, and so that's what we're going to read about today. It's called Sisters, Venus and Serena Williams, a biography by Jeanette Winter. Let's read it. Venus reads to her little sister Serena as night slips down over the bed they share in their house in Compton, California. Now, I bet you can see this tennis court here with garbage and trash and stuff, and it looks like we've got some shady characters maybe doing some drug deals along the side, and it's poorly lit. Outside in the darkness, life goes on till early dawn, when the sun rises up over the sisters' sleepy bed. Daddy and Mama want their two youngest girls to learn tennis. They have dreams for their future. Daddy and Mama even learn to play tennis so they can teach Venus and Serena to play. Early morning, Daddy takes the sisters to the court, where some older boys still think it's night. Daddy tells the boys his girls need to practice their tennis. Scowl meets scowl. And I think you can see the trash on the courts and the graffiti on the walls. The morning cleanup happens again and again. And then the practice with used up balls, not much bounce, and used up rackets, not much spring. I didn't grow up playing at the country club, Serena says. Serve, return, volley, forehand, backhand, over and over. Concentrate, Daddy says. Back and forth, two little sisters learning the game. Thwonk, thwack, thwonk. Venus and Serena concentrate hard, trying not to hear the gunfire down the street. Like in a cocoon, the sisters focus on the ball. The boys start hanging around, watching. The sisters have their attention and respect. Venus and Serena hit the ball so hard and fast that the boys cheer them on and protect them. Practice over, in the dimming light, Daddy and the little sisters go home to Mama and their big sisters. Do your schoolwork, Venus. Do your schoolwork, Serena. I want you girls to be educated, Mama says. The sisters listen, study, and concentrate. When Venus laughs, I laugh harder. When Venus cries, I cry harder, Serena says. That's just how close those sisters are. Word gets around about those Williams sisters, how they can hit that tennis ball. Offers to give the sisters new tennis balls, new rackets, new tennis clothes, and chances to play tennis matches arrive at the house in Compton. Mama braids Venus's hair for her first tournament. When Venus walks out onto the perfect green court, she sees a sea of white faces. Concentrate, she tells herself. The crowd fades away, like the gunfire in Compton. She hits the ball hard. Thwonk, thwack. Venus wins. When Serena plays her first tournament, white beads gleaming, Venus cheers from the stands. Concentrate, Serena tells herself, and the crowd fades away. She hits the ball hard, back and forth. Thwonk, thwack, thwack, thwonk. Serena wins. Their trophy collection begins. Word gets around. A tennis academy invites the sisters and their family to Florida. Venus and Serena practice under palm trees and go to school and practice and go to school until Mama and Daddy say that they are old enough to play in the big tournaments. No longer little sisters, Venus and Serena are tall and strong, and they play strong. Plock, pock. Trophies pile up, one after another. Trophies make some people green with envy, but the sisters concentrate. Not hearing the boos, they keep on winning. They are powerful. The sisters try new ways of dressing and new hairstyles no one has seen on a tennis court before. Venus starts a business and designs tennis clothes and still plays tennis. Serena acts on TV and still plays tennis. But anyone can get sick. Venus gets a disease that makes her weak, too weak to play tennis. She fights to recover and play again. Serena gets a blood clot in her lungs. She fights to recover and play again. The sisters train hard and practice hard and hit those bright balls on their own tennis court, concentrating like they did when they were little. And they continue to play and win, one trophy after another. And when the sisters play each other before thousands of people, that cocoon of concentration wraps around each of them. It's like they're alone on the court, just like they were on that raggedy court in Compton, spirits soaring high together. Sisters. That's Sisters by Jeanette Winter. Boys and girls, it's song time, which means it's time for Don't Fence Me In by Cole Porter. If you have your sheet music or your picture lyrics, now's the time to sing along to this song. This is the last time we will sing this song. The only reason we're doing it is because I plan to have that in the Kids' Day service in June, and I just wanted you to be familiar with it so you could sing along to it. This won't be a video for us or a solo or anything like that. But let's go through it once, and then we'll sing it one more time a little faster from the start. All right? Good. So it starts out, oh, give me land, lots of land, under starry skies above. Turn the page. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Turn to page 3. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Page 4. Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in. Page 5. This is the part we learned last week. Just turn me loose, let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western skies. Taking that a little slower on page 6. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. Page 7, we're back to that verse sound. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences. Gaze at the moon till I lose my senses. Turn page 8. Can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Does it sound familiar now? Let's do it one last time. And before we do, 1, 3, 5, 7. Ooh, baby. Let's see if I can do it all the way through without messing this thing up, page-wise. Ready? 1, 2, sing now. Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Turn the page. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Page 3. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Page 4. Send me off forever, but I ask you please. Don't fence me in. Page 5. Just turn me loose. Let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western skies. Page 6. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. Page 7. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences. Gaze at the moon till I lose my senses. Page 8. Can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Now, you can sing this anytime. You know where to find these lessons on YouTube, and just fast forward till the song comes along and practice all you want to. Thanks so much. Hey, well, boys and girls, it looks like we've somehow managed to get through yet another episode of Virtual Judson Sunday School. As always, I want to thank Andre and I want to thank Michelle for all their help putting this episode together. I want to thank you for being with me today as well. Now, next Sunday is Easter Sunday, and we're going to stage a virtual Easter egg hunt. So you'll want to tune in. How many eggs will you be able to find? The winner is going to get like $1 gazillion. I don't know. I need to check the Sunday school budget first. I might have spent all our money on this basketball goal, but I can guarantee the winner will at least get some candy. So that's next Sunday, Easter Sunday, a virtual Easter egg hunt. I hope you'll join me. And until then, have a great week. Stay safe. Keep a place for Judson in your heart. And we'll see you next time on Virtual Judson Sunday School. Whew.